In its day, this was the world's biggest communications hub, the brainchild of an Italian entrepreneur. Just over 100 years ago, this man, Guglielmo Marconi, the pioneer of radio, brought his men here to set up the world's first wireless telegram service. We want to discover how Marconi did it, and why did he come here, to this isolated peat bog on the Irish coast. When Marconi arrived, his challenge was immense. Build the most powerful transmitter the world had ever seen. Good to see you, sir. You usually swing around that way, yeah? I've assembled a team of experts who try and generate a radio signal with the same technology that Marconi pioneered here in Ireland.
We want to try and align those two insulators with these two variable members here.
We've got electronics engineers from the Galway and Mayo Institute of Technology, supported by radio experts from the Irish Naval Service, and they're all here to unpick the puzzle that Marconi cracked in 1907.
Just to confirm, we have arrived at the Clifden site and we are going to conduct the Marconi exercises. Over.
Clifden's one of the closest points between Ireland and North America. From here, Marconi planned to send and receive radio signals a staggering 1,900 miles across the Atlantic. He built a sister station at Glace Bay in Nova Scotia. This was years before it was possible to transmit voice messages, so he used Morse code, electronic pulses that correspond to letters of the alphabet. Marconi sent the first transatlantic radio message from Poldhu at Land's End. But 6 years later, to set up as a business, he uprooted to Ireland. Marconi proved the radio communications at Land's End, didn't he? So why did he come here? Why Ireland?
Poldhu radio site for Marconi wasn't large enough for the type of antenna structure which he was experimenting with.
Marconi was building big. Here at Clifden, there was room for a huge antenna suspended on poles 200 feet high. All that's left of the mighty structure are dozens of concrete anchor blocks for the masts. To get some sense of the scale, I've asked our guys from the Navy to act as markers. So the small lad there, he's only about a third of the way.
Oh, absolutely. That guy you can see at the very top there of the hill, he's 1/3 of the way of the entire antenna. This was a ginormous antenna. You could say the biggest in the world at that particular time.
Nothing like this had been seen before. An antenna over half a mile long. It would need up to 300,000 watts of power to send messages all the way across the Atlantic. So Marconi had to generate lots of energy on site. That's why he built a power station in the middle of a bog. The 2-meter thick foundations are intact, but little remains of the hardware itself to tell us how it worked.
He had a lake which he needed for a water supply for his DC generators, which were right here beside us. That's the remnants of the DC generators over there.
Amazingly, the generators were driven by steam engines which burnt a traditional Irish fuel.
Everywhere you look, what do you see? Energy, turf, peat.
So they actually used peat for fuel?
Absolutely.
He had 6 generators in here, 3 working and 3 on standby at all times.
But Marconi still needed a way of storing the electrical energy from his peat-fueled generators and releasing it rapidly. The solution was to construct a capacitor or condenser. We're trying to build one, like Marconi did, from steel plates. Adding plates increases the electrical energy a capacitor can store. Unlike a battery, it can be charged up quickly and discharged in a split second. This was the key component that enabled Morse code to be received loud and clear 1,900 miles away.
This is huge. That may look huge today, but compared to Marconi, his condenser, this is minute. Look. Have a look at that picture. This is a man here.
We're talking about each one of these panels being what?
Well, if we think the panels at the bottom were about 12 feet, which would be about 3 of these sheets wide, and about 30 feet tall, which is between 7 and 8 times
25 times the size.
Absolutely.
And how many did he have?
You'll not believe this. He had 1,800 sheets.
This condenser housing was 350 feet long and 75 feet wide.
We've built a Marconi-style steel plate condenser, but what about generating the radio signal itself? The man with the biggest collection of early radio equipment in Britain is Bob Smallbone. He's arrived with a rare and crucial bit of kit that dates right back to Marconi's time. Can you get a new one?
That's cast iron, weighs a ton. 1910 rotary spark gap, we're ready to go.
Get it connected, good man. In 1907, powering up such a rotary spark gap was no mean feat. Marconi's peat-powered steam engine drove his generators. We're using petrol power.
We should be getting what, about 230, 240 or 230?
Well, our generator's output is too low.
Yeah. I should have expected 220. Yeah.
A century ago, Marconi overcame much bigger problems than this.
Out here, it's a bit of an unknown quantity.
Marconi's men had to be inventive as they struggled to turn transatlantic radio messages from an experiment into a business. After some tweaking, it's all systems go.
Hold up.
That's up, that's one.
That's good. So we're happy with that.
Yeah. Okay. Just one more part of the circuit to complete. Bob's brought along a Morse key.
An absolute replica.
So that's exactly what they used 100 years ago.
It's exactly what they would have used.
Here in Clifden.
Here in Clifden, yeah.
Wow.
There you go. No expense spared today.
Let's get it wired up.
Perfect.
Marconi was an astute entrepreneur. He wanted to make communications by wireless telegraph more accessible and create a big market for his groundbreaking service.
Here's an advert at the time, Dick.
The Marconi gram.
Yep.
By making messages more compact, they'd use up less airtime and so it'd be a lot cheaper.
Marconi's wireless telegraphic code book. You just use one word and he gives you a whole sentence.
And those aren't real words, are they?
No, they're not.
Rothenoid.
Rothenoid.
What a cracking word. A bankrupt stock will realise large amount assets good. That's a very long sentence for one word, isn't it?
It is.
That would cost me 8p.
8p.
We're getting a feel for the challenges Marconi faced here in 1907, trying to generate his revolutionary transatlantic radio messages. Now, the ultimate test. Frank has now got a live feed. Is anybody else worried? If you touch the steel plates now, you'd become part of a 6,000 volt circuit and almost certainly die. The condenser's all wired up, which means we're going to be able to store lots of energy. So all we need to do is get everybody safe, flip the switch, and we'll be sending Morse a long way using our condenser. Do you want to do a quick safety check for me, please, sir?
Clear the danger area, please. GMIT, can you confirm the danger area is clear? Yes, it is clear. Thank you. On my mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
You're in control.
Whoa! We like that. We like that.
You're looking good.
That's really good. Yeah, hold on. I saw the big smile coming right there. The high voltage sparks are jumping across a tiny air gap between the stud contacts. When these rotating contacts line up and the Morse key is pressed, the spark creates a signal. Marconi's rotary spark gap was 5 feet in diameter, and the sound of the sparks could be heard over half a mile away. As well as making audible sound waves, the sparks are also creating invisible radio waves. Even without connecting our scaled-down model to an antenna, it's so powerful it's actually transmitting through the air. This is a radio that will pick it up.
Conventional radio, set to long wave, we should be able to pick it up.
So what we're going to do is we head off. Can you send us a message of some description and we'll see how far we can go?
Yes, I can indeed. He's off.
Isn't that a beautiful clean start? We've got 100 watts in there, which is still going.
And there's no antenna.
Marconi had something like 100,000 watts.
Our signal could be picked up almost half a mile away.